Hello, welcome to Local Anesthetic Podcast, your regular injection of mind-numbing, weird, sinister, bizarre news locally and around the world. My name is Alex, and joining us as always for episode 399, Rob. We're almost there, we can almost touch it, we can almost taste the 400. Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, I don't...
Taste the 400, Rob.
Alex, considering this is our penultimate episode, no, well, not... penultimate episode before 400. I'm not saying that's the last episode, but I don't feel prepared. I don't feel mentally prepared for it, Alex.
No.
As you rightly said in the last episode, it's when we first started recording, I never realistically believed that we would ever get to this significant milestone. I mean, I don't thought we'd get past the first 10 episodes, quite frankly. So the fact we are here, or at least almost here, I mean, something could happen between this episode and the next episode. It is quite extraordinary.
It would be tragic if something did. I mean, obviously the show would have to go on. If something happened to both of us, then there would be no show. I mean, that's just the way it is.
I thought we've always maintained that the show would go on regardless if one of the co-hosts died.
We have, yeah, but what if both of us? Then what?
I mean, if it was a freak accident where we were both killed, that would be quite. I mean, we don't live near each other. That would feel like a contracted killing. It
would. We could be together one day and get wiped out by, lightning.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's been a lot of thunderstorms recently. So sure, yeah. Can I don't know whether this is a fact, but I'm going to report it as if it was a fact. So, the Passion of the Christ film, Mel Gibson's film.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, where are you going with this?
Right, so Jim Caviezel, who played Jesus in that film, and apparently now is quite a big supporter of QAnon. There's maybe it's an urban legend, but apparently he was hit by lightning 3 times whilst they were recording that film.
Right. That would make you feel afterwards like you had some sort of special power, wouldn't it?
I would see it more as the fact that maybe you should stop filming because someone is trying to tell you something.
Yeah. Okay, is there any news, Rob, before we crack on? Because I've got an important update.
Go ahead.
I'm sure we covered this story originally. You can correct me. This is from BBC News. No journalist list. Oh no, Alan Cook. From 21st of July, man who stole 200,000 cream eggs is jailed. Was it you who covered the story? Or was it me? I think it was me.
I think it was you. I also saw this. And good riddance, Alex.
Yeah.
Cream eggs.
Tried to ruin our Easter.
Yeah. Exactly. I think because we discussed it, because you didn't know that cream eggs only come out at Easter time. You thought they were available all year round.
What? They only come out at Easter?
Are you doing a bit? I don't know what you're...
I'm surprised to hear that. I thought you could get cream eggs all... And why would they restrict it? Why would you do that? It's like when McDonald's come out with these limited edition burgers. If they sell well, why don't they just release them all the fucking time?
Well, I suppose it's supply and demand, isn't it? I mean, so yeah, I think there's a limited run on when they produce. I think it's between like January and April. They tend to produce cream eggs. Where do you stand on the cream egg, Alex?
Well, I can't really... I'm lactose intolerant, I discovered in later life, so I don't eat milk chocolate anymore. But if I was going to... I did used to quite like a cream egg, yeah. I don't know why all these companies just don't do dark chocolate variants. I just don't get it. Why can't they be asked? Is there some problem? Right, okay, right, that. It's not like it...
No, it's a good question.
There's a dark chocolate bounty, which is very nice.
Yeah, and obviously the Cadbury's have started doing... what's it called? Their mix of dark and milk chocolate. I can't remember the name of it, but it's quite nice. Obviously, you still wouldn't be able to have it, but
that doesn't really help anybody, no.
No, sorry about that. Yeah, and obviously, I don't want to bring up the Easter egg that I bought for you, and you kept in a cupboard for many months, well, years really, and then just binned. But that's fine.
So as I say, this man Rob has been jailed. Joby Pool. That is his name. Joby Pool. It doesn't. Joby. I've never heard the name Joby. Have you? Joby. Jobby.
So the only time I've heard the name Joby, and this is such a niche reference that I think will probably alienate most of the listenership. Do you remember Trevor and Simon?
David, that rings a bell. Who are Trevor and Simon?
Trevor and Simon were the comedy duo that used to feature on like Going Live, and they used to have a sketch called, I think, the Pickling Brothers, where they used to pickle things. And one of those characters. I mean, this is really, really niche. I apologise for this, even for me. But I am pretty sure one of the characters, one of the two brothers, was called Jovi.
Joby with a B.
Oh, with a B. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Joby. That makes more sense now. Oh, yeah. Forget everything I just said. Leave it in the podcast.
That was the most irrelevant, pointless, deep cut ever on a podcast. Joby Paul admitted at an earlier hearing to taking a trailer of the chocolate from an industrial unit in Telford, Shropshire in February this year. The haul of sweet treats was valued at more than 31 grand. Poole, aged 32, from Tingley near Leeds, was sentenced to 18 months with half to be spent in prison. The 6 months he has already spent in custody will be counted towards the 9 months in jail. Poole of Dewsbury Road used a tractor unit stolen in Yorkshire in October to tow away the trailer. The stolen chocolate was then driven northbound on the M42, where he gave himself up by walking towards police with his hands up. Poole, who appeared in the dock in a grey long-sleeve shirt, had previously admitted theft. He'd also pleaded guilty to criminal damage to a lock at the trailer park and driving without insurance. At his conviction hearing, the prosecution said the offence was not spur of the moment and there had been significant planning. In response, the defendant's solicitor said there had been no interference with the food products that were taken. Well, obviously he wasn't going to eat £31,000 worth of Easter eggs, of Cadbury's Creme Eggs. At Thursday's hearing, Deborah White said in Paul's defence that he has shown genuine remorse and he was sorry for the effect on his family and the firm involved. There were 2 significant losses in his life, she said, then a third loss in terms of his relationship, and then a fourth in terms of the loss of his business. Paul turned to drugs and alcohol, but took full responsibility for what happened. So it's a bit of an Alan Partridge moment, like when he drove to Dundee in his bare feet. This guy said, I'm going to steal some cream eggs, and a lot of them.
Do you know what? That's exactly what I thought. I could imagine him, getting out of the cab of his stolen lorry on the M42, walking towards police, smeared chocolate and fondant smeared all over his face, down his t-shirt, sobbing with tears, and yeah, just a real stay, Alex.
Well, Judge Anthony Lowe said he was not convinced Paul was the only person involved in the theft. If one looks at what must have happened here, we're looking at a significant degree of planning. He also added, Rob, which I think is a bit of a low blow, this, to Jobo, whatever his name is. He just said, so this is what the judge said to him. You are not a man of good character, as you have committed theft before in 2019. So, according to this man, if you've ever committed 2 thefts, you are no longer a person of good character, according to this judge, Rob.
Yeah, I see that, Alex. They say, as a man of no thefts, I'm a great person. So I would agree with that.
Oh, hang on a minute, Rob. Come on. I've stolen stuff before in my past. Have you? Ever?
What do you mean by stolen, Alex?
Thieves. Stolen, like burglaries. What was that? I took that car stereo out of a car that time. Right. There was a thing from that museum. No, I'm talking about walking out of a newsagent with a Snickers you didn't pay for when you were younger.
I don't think I ever did that, in all honesty. I know that's quite boring to hear. I mean, maybe I've taken the odd piece of stationery from work, but that's not theft. Is it?
I'm just going to hold up my hands. I once didn't pay for an imitation pot plant from Aldi, and that was in my adult life because I didn't realise it hadn't gone through the scanner, and I whatever.
Oh, Alex, we've all done that. We've all put stuff through the scanner and got away with it, or swapped items out of a similar weight and then paid the lower price, right?
No, I don't do that. That's quite premeditated, Rob. Right. Listen. As well as the jail sentence, the judge added a month to be served concurrently for the criminal damage and 6 points to Paul's driving licence. Seems a bit nasty, a bit vindictive. In a series of tweets posted 2 days after the theft, West Mercia police said they helped save Easter by foiling the theft. The force said it had been hunting individuals, presumably purporting to be the Easter Bunny. So once again, as we know, what the police do in this country is spend their time on Twitter making jokes, Rob. But I will say, I do think this man, Rob, Joby Poole, was left with egg on his face.
Absolutely.
Right, Rob. Moving from what so some people think, do some people think Cadbury's cream eggs are disgusting?
Yeah, I must. I'm not really a fan. They're too sickly sweet for me.
Well, Rob, we're now moving on to another food-related story. Both of us, Rob, I know, are big fans of Burger King. Correct?
Well, when you say big fans, I mean, yeah, I enjoy their burgers. I wouldn't go out of my way to go to one.
Wouldn't you? I think they're the best fast food burger you can get. No?
Oh no, I disagree with that. No, no. If I would take five guys over Burger King every time.
So I've never tried a Five Guys. Do you know that? Because basically, my partner told me they weren't that great, and that then made me think, I should never try one. I also think they're quite pricey for what they are. But,
they are expensive.
Do I need to
try?
So I need to have one, do I, Rob?
Yeah, you really do. And the fact there's the good thing about a Five Guys burger, Alex, is there's a high degree of customization, and I appreciate that.
I found that a bit confusing, though. I just want them to do the fucking burger for me. I don't want it to be like I'm walking into a Subway, Rob.
I mean, what I like is it's on a little card in front of you. You can literally just point at what you want, Alex. I mean, we're talking a conversation that will last the best part of 30 seconds. I mean, it's not, they're not asking you to cook the burger yourself.
But I do like a Whopper, Rob. I don't think there's many burgers better than a Whopper, personally.
A Whopper is a good burger. I'm not disagreeing with that. No,
I will try. Okay, so I'll try. So I will go out of my way to go to a Burger King, Rob. But I will try the Five Guys.
Thank you.
And then I'll get back to you.
And Wimpy. Don't forget Wimpy.
Right? Are you putting that up there genuinely?
No. No.
Do their burgers taste like Burger Van burgers?
No. I mean, like I said, look, you all know that I tried one during lockdown, and I really can't remember what it tasted like because it was one of those where you just think, this is fine. I've had worse and I've had better.
What I want to ask you, Rob, right, is I'm a big fan of a good old kebab place. When those places, you're going to get a good chicken sheesh or a good chicken doner or whatever, but they will always have on their menu that they do things like a burger. Have you ever tried a burger for one of those places, and is it really good or not?
No, this is the thing. If you're going into a Turkish takeaway, you get the kebab because it's a speciality because that's what they're known for. You're not going to get a burger. I mean, it's
I don't get burgers from fish and chip places either. I love a good fish and chip, so I don't get a burger from there.
No, it's also I think it's more of a northern thing where you get Chinese restaurants that are also fish and chip shops, which I find bizarre.
What? I've never heard of such a thing. No, right.
Yeah, they're quite. There's a lot of those at north.
But Rob, we must get on with the story. This is Thailand, Burger King. This is extraordinary. Burger King Thailand stuns diners with meatless burger filled, Rob, with 20 slices of cheese.
Amazing.
In fact, let me just stick it in the chat now so you can just get a look at the burger before we even begin. This is why I'm reading it straight after the cream egg story, right? You're going to open it and you're going to look at the picture and you're going to describe for the listener.
This is a joke, Alex. Is this an April Fool's joke?
No, this is a real burger, Rob. I promise you everything.
So it's literally just the burger bun and 20 slices of processed cheese. And that's it.
Yeah. Burger King has introduced a new offering on its menu in Thailand, a meatless burger packed with 20 slices of American cheese. The real cheeseburger is being offered at the fast food chain's locations across the country and has drawn a mixed response from customers. Stuffed with just a thick wad of cheese, some people took to social media to brand the dairy-filled bun as heaven, while others called it revolting. Some reports said branches of Burger King had to stop taking orders for deliveries to ensure they had enough stock to provide their new cheese offering to in-store diners.
Oh, fuck off. Who's it? Sorry. You can make this for a fraction of the price. It's not difficult. Also, by the way, to call it real cheese is an insult.
Burger King said this is for real while promoting the product online and urged diners to show off when eating it. But despite the mixed response, others were finding new ways to treat the item. One customer recommended people should buy the burger and then separate the cheeses to eat with bread in the morning. Others compared it with toasted cheese or simply a thick sandwich.
I mean, I mean, they haven't cooked this in any way, have they? I mean, all they've done is assemble this. This is the least possible amount of effort they've gone to.
Rob, this appeared on menus at the weekend at a discount price of £2.41 compared with the normal burger charge of £8.42. Cheese is hugely popular in Thailand, particularly with younger generations, and is sprinkled across many dishes, Rob. Would you eat this?
I've been to Thailand. I don't remember any of my dishes being sprinkled with cheese. Have they got confused with Italy?
No, Rob.
No, Alex, I wouldn't eat this. In fact, this feels like an insult. If anything, it's put me off Burger King.
What I like about them, first of all, it does feel like they ran out of ideas. Secondly, I would like to say what I admire about Burger King is they're not pretending to be anything else other than they are. Burger King and McDonald's were the big hitters, and then McDonald's went the route of removing all their red signage, references to hamburger restaurants, lots of green, and talking about salads. Burger King haven't done any of that. They're saying, here's a fucking fast food burger, eat it and enjoy it.
That's true, yeah.
And they've kept the logo. You've got to admire them, folks. It does look a bit dated, but
yeah, it does. But again, I suppose but then McDonald's still has the golden arches. Also, which country is it? In Australia, Burger King has got a different name. Are you aware of this?
Burger King?
No, again, Australia, not Germany.
All right.
Hang on.
Oh, did you say? I thought you said Austria.
No, sorry, Australia. Hang on, I need to find. I can't remember what it's called.
Burger King, mate.
So legally in Australia, the name Burger King is copyrighted. So in Australia, Burger King's is known as Hungry Jack's.
I did not know that. What a great piece of information.
Thanks.
Hungry Jack's.
I'm trying to redeem myself after the Trevor and Simon fact from earlier.
When I came up to see you, Rob, to help you move, I tried to persuade you to take me to the nearest Burger King, but you refused because you said it was a service station off a motorway. I was disappointed because I felt that would have been enjoyable.
It would, Alex, but very bleak at the same time.
Right, Rob, do you have some stories for us there, my friend?
I do, Alex. Now, you started the podcast with an update, and I'm going to do exactly the same. Unfortunately, this is a story that just doesn't seem to die. It's not the Croydon Cat Killer, God. But it's been going on for probably about as long. So this is from the Norwich Evening News. It's from the 12th of July, and it's exclusive by Casey Cooper Fisk. So, Alex, the saga of a controversial restaurant being run from a suburban home could finally be coming to an end after its owner was ordered to cease trading.
Oh my God. Right, they've really gone after this guy, haven't they? They have not let this go, but he has been brazen. Absolutely brazen.
So, Orlando Williams, who owns Orlando's and Erla Road, has evaded Norwich City Council inspectors for more than 5 years, serving food to diners in his living room and even providing Deliveroo and Uber Eats takeaways.
I didn't know that. I did not
that's
know
a new
that.
development.
So for listeners who don't know, this guy set up a restaurant named after himself and hotel, I think, at one stage, but claimed it was neither. And the council have been onto him for years and... right, okay.
Okay, so now there was a slight discrepancy in what you just said, but we will cover that.
All right, okay.
But following a recent investigation, Mr. Williams has now been ordered to cease trading by the 10th of October or face prosecution after the City Council decided it was in the public interest for the food service to close. Mr. Williams will still be able to serve breakfast to customers in his B&B he runs legitimately, which will remain open. So that side of the business, Alex, is absolutely fine. He can still continue with that.
So I'm shaking my head, listeners, is what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's a bizarre decision. So it comes off the previous investigation concluded there is no evidence Mr. Williams was serving food beyond his B&B services. Interesting. So the council's enforcement notice comes after this newspaper ordered an Orlando's lunch for the newly elected council boss, Mike Sonnard, and had it delivered by Uber Eats to the steps of City Hall.
We probably have to pay a hefty delivery charge, I imagine. Well,
also, if he's been told to cease trading, it's probably I'm not sure he's going to do that. So a Carriage spokesman said the nature and intensity of the activity at Orlando's increased from February this year, as did the number of complaints we received. I would love to see what those complaints were. The council met with Mr. Williams and monitored activity at the business, which has resulted in the enforcement notice being issued. The notice requires the business to stop restaurant service for any customers who are not bed and breakfast guests and to stop any takeaway services. The spokesman added that Mr. Williams has 1 month to appeal this notice. He added if he does not appeal, Mr. Williams will need to stop running a restaurant takeaway service that is addressed by the 10th of October or face prosecution. Mr. Williams, whose Bar Street restaurant Yakinoku closed in 2015, has consistently denied running a restaurant from his home, including receiving a 2-star food hygiene rating for the B&B from the City Council in April.
This. If you're on Uber Eats and Deliveroo, you are openly and brazenly running a restaurant, no?
Yes, absolutely. Now, can I just say, by the way, we've been talking about the death of local news journalism. I think we have to give some credit to the Norwich Evening News because they've put together an interactive timeline of developments in relation to Orlando. You can literally scroll through and see the significant milestones that have happened in the story.
And did we manage to cover every story, Rob, or were there any we missed?
I think because of our fantastic listeners, this goes back to 2015. That was the closer's original restaurant. But yeah, I think we've managed to more or less cover everything. So just to finish off, Mr. Williams' neighbour, Becky Greengrass, welcomed the news. She said, "I'm relieved, but I'll believe it when I see it. We've had things like this before. He was told to take the sign down, but it's still there. I can smell him cooking now, so it's clear he's not taking the immediate notice of the order." End of story.
It just goes on and on and on. I'd like to have him on and interview him, you know?
I think, Alex, he would happily come on and promote his business. I mean, at least he's still got the bed and breakfast to fall back on. My next story, which I'm going to dip into quickly because I think it may sort of national news. So this is from the Traitorous Guardian. Is there any journalists listed? Yes. Angela Grafrida. It is from the 5th of July. And the headline is, tourist from England accused of carving name into Colosseum says he did not realise its age.
And recently, a female tourist, I can't remember where she was from, has done this, has also defaced the Colosseum inadvertently. I've been to the Colosseum, Rob.
Yes, as have I.
Right, yeah. I went there first.
Did you? Where did you go?
Would have been about 2008.
Yeah, I went the week before that, so I was there before you.
I have 104 friends.
So a tourist from England.
How many cows you've got? Yeah. I've got 100 cows. I've got 104 friends. And they said they thought very carefully about that number. It couldn't be 101. And they said 104 sounded funny.
There is something about 104 that I've, and that's the sign of good comedy writing, if you ask me.
I completely agree.
So a tourist from England accused of facing the Colosseum has said he was not aware of the age of the ancient monument.
No. It does look quite new. I mean, that's the thing. When you're there, it could have been made yesterday, Rob.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, look, everyone knows in this country we have a thing called follies, which are things that are they were deliberately made to look old. I mean, for him, maybe that's exactly what he thought they were. So, Ivan Dmitriev, 27-year-old fitness instructor living in Bristol, wrote a letter of apology to the Rome mayor, Roberto Gualtieri, after allegedly engraving his and his girlfriend's name into an eternal wall of the 2,000-year-old landmark with a key. In a letter,
he keyed the Colosseum. Nice.
He keyed the Colosseum. In the letter, Dmitriev, who was traced by Italian police to England after a 5-day search, wrote that he only now did he realise the seriousness of the deed committed. Through these lines, I would like to address my heartfelt and honest apologies to the Italians and to the whole world for the damage caused to the asset, which, in fact, is the heritage of all humanity. I mean, yeah, I have to say, Alex, he's quite erudite. I quite like those words.
Mm.
He had in the letter published. Sorry, he had it in the letter published in the El Messaggero on Wednesday. Apparently, I'm not going to go into any more details, but apparently he faces quite a hefty fine, understandably, and then it gives him more details about the Colosseum itself. And I'm assuming this the video that basically caught him defacing the Colosseum, which apparently was entitled "Arsehole Tourist Cars Named Colosseum in Rome."
Good episode title.
yeah, absolutely. Was obviously uploaded to YouTube, and then obviously went viral. So we'll leave that there.
And that, Rob, brings episode 499, Rob, to a close. 399 apologies. Yeah. So the next episode, Rob, is going to be episode 400. And to remind our listeners, we have a particular listener who has been going through our entire back catalogue. So he's going to pick us out a selection of stories he particularly enjoyed for us to go over again, because believe you me, we probably won't remember them. You probably won't remember them either. Now, Rob, that will not be an exhaustive list then, because it won't include the last 85 or so episodes, because he hasn't listened to them yet. But that's fine. It'll be a real blast from the past. Please visit our website, www.lapodcast.net. From there, you'll see there's a donate button. Please give us a tip, just a donation, one time, rolling. It really helps us out, helps us keep this podcast afloat. We really appreciate that. And we really appreciate your company, all our loyal listeners. And if you weren't featured this week for our listener story of the week, which you weren't because there wasn't one for the first time maybe in a long time, Rob, and I'm sorry about that. God bless.
And keep it local.